Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at Brie-Like Cheese number 14, where we're looking at this French Brie-Like cheese called Mairie de
Mairie
la...
dans les étoiles.
de las Etoiles.
Mairie dans les étoiles.
Etoiles. Every French pronunciation is wrong. Oh, okay. Hervé Mons. Hervé Mons is the same place that made the Saint Nuage in episode 2, I think, so... They're a well-recognized, well-respected creamery in France. And I was a little worried about all the weird colors in this thing. But I did a little research and I was calmed down and reassured not to worry about it. But this is a cheese, a Brie-Like cheese that is not referenced in Liz Thorpe's book, The Book of Cheese, which is my guide for all the Brie-Like cheeses. So I recognize some that aren't in here. And then I'm coming across quite a few that are. So I've been having a good time going through these. This one I can tell has a pretty fuzzy rind. And they have some sort of gray ash on the outside. Makes you think it's getting moldy and going bad. And so all the research I said, don't worry, nope, that's not it. That's not what you think. So my sample here, I got at Whole Foods. And that's what the connection that Hervé Mons has with Saint Nuage. They only sell in the Whole Foods for some of their creations. So I'm going to dig into this. I see on the back here that it is 140 grams, 5 ounces, and I paid $11.99. So if you do the math, that is not like, shredded cheese in the grocery store. So I'm going to get into this and see if I can open this up and find out what it's all about. A little ammonia smell that it shouldn't have. It does have a sell-by date of June 3rd, 2021, which is in the past by a week or so. So if it persists, then you won't even see this video. So, okay, little wooden crate, easy to separate. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm not concerned about the gray ash part, but I am concerned about fuzzy mold all over the outside of it. And the ammonia aroma is persisting. So let's air that stuff out. Let's get away from that. And I'm just going to cut it down the middle. It's been out of the fridge for an hour or more. It has approached room temperature. Oh yeah, it looks like a pretty normal brie progression inside here. Lots of bries. Get lots of their character from the outside rind organism, which is usually Penicillium candidum. And as I lay this down, you can see there's a close to the rind portion and there's a close to the center portion, and they're different. The rind affects the cheese right next to it, so it works its way in towards the center as these things get older over 3 or 4 or 6 months. So I'm probably only going to work on 1/4, and I'm just going to cut off the top line. Wow, it's really soft. And I'm going to grab a cracker, like a multi-grain cracker with no wheat. And if the outside mold, the white fuzzy stuff, is deadly, well, oh well. So it's not got a strong aroma. Don't really get any ammonia now. It dissipated, so it was just there in the package and was easy to dissipate. It is slightly funky, slightly old sweaty socks like, old shoes. But not a lot of other notes. Might be dairy, but it's not clear at all. Okay, so modest piece on a modest little cracker. Here we go. Oh wow, it's a little goaty. And which reminds me, I should have mentioned this is made from the milk of goats. Soft ripened cheese. Soft ripened goat's milk cheese is what it says on the back. And slightly past the sell by date, which I'm not detecting any issues with. So that's not really a problem. It's a little goaty, it's a little brie-like. It is brown or gray because of an ash coating that's on the outside of it, in addition to the white rind mold organism, which is Penicillium candidum. Gives it a slightly mushroomy note, and it's coming out. It's not the strongest thing. It's not even second. Getting dairy notes, and I'm getting old things. Sweaty socks. Not quite wet dog, but it's in that direction. So the grayness, or what looks like mold growing on it, it's really an ash that they use to protect the outside of it. The mushroominess is totally normal. The dairy notes are completely within the realm of Bries. And I've got, I don't really have any of that very center part. I would say everything that I'm tasting here is affected greatly by the outer rind organism, and the effects are working its way in. So it's going to taste mushroomy and be a different consistency than the stuff in the middle. So this is soft and squishy, but this is a little harder and cheesecakey in terms of its texture. And the flavors are probably different too, but that I haven't really checked out yet. So second bite here. Nice pungent flavors. It is absolutely cheesy. It is wonderful. Slightly funky, but it's not putting me off. There might be problems with some people because it's gray, because it's got two different colors on the inside, it's got two different colors on the outside. Somebody's going to think this has gone horribly wrong and not go near it. But I'm thinking it's pretty good and interesting. So we'll just keep going, march along. Really good on the flatbread, which has no salt, and it accentuates the saltiness of the cheese, which is minor, which is just an accent to wake up some of the dairy notes. I wouldn't say it's salty, but I notice it way more in this flatbread. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is really good. These people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing selling it into Whole Foods, and that's probably where you're going to find it. It's probably some exclusive thing. So next I'm putting on a very bland wheat cracker. It's got little specks like it's cracked wheat or bits of grain. They don't really say anything different in the description of the cracker, but that's probably all it is. So I'm probably going to consume this whole quarter just tasting a few things. It is smooth. Oop, just ran down my leg. A little ball of the center, which is cheesecakey in texture, is very different than the outside, which is a little wetter and more fluid. So let's go. So the cracker is not very salty at all. So the salt and the cheese stands out. Mushroomy notes from the rind stand out. Dairy notes stand out. So it's got all the things that the Brie-Like Cheeses usually have. We got this tiny little corn-based cracker. It's gluten-free, based on corn. I love corn. And it's a little sweet. You can definitely identify the corn. But I haven't used crackers like this yet. So here goes. Very good combination. Slight saltiness in the corn cracker and slight saltiness in the cheese makes them about equal. They're equals on that level. So this cheese is hitting on all cylinders for sure. It is probably worth its price, its selling price to most people. And I've got it on this little Harvest Grain, or I don't know what kind of cracker that is. It's commercial and there's salt in it and they sell it to people. Okay, that works. Just totally. So, don't worry about the funky colors on the outside. The gray doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's moldy. The whole cheese is very soft. Whole cheese is very tasty. You don't taste any ash. You taste mushroomy notes from the rind organism, which is a mold. And I'm going to put on a little bit of dried mission fig. I'll cut them in half so you can see the seeds if you're looking in the overhead camera. There's very little moisture. There's more moisture in the cheese than in the figs. So we will see how this works as a pairing. Oh yeah, that works. The fruitiness or any sweetness in the figs is concentrated because it's dried. And it really is a good contrast with the cheese. Dairy notes, funkiness, saltiness contrast for sure. Texture contrast with the carrot. Texture contrast with the cracker. So, definitely works. Getting into bottom rind here. So there's going to be more ash and more white moldy rind that's just mushroomy notes. And next thing I'll do, I think, will be pistachios. They're roasted and salted. I'll probably do about 4. Let's see if they add anything or complement it. Or mix well, play well. Let's go. Multi-grain cracker with that French name, Mary de las Etoiles, and pistachios, which is who knows what. French, Spanish, I don't know. Italian, Greek. And the flavors are wonderful. The roasted and salted pistachio notes are just floating right there on top of everything. So it's a great texture. Saltiness contrast is the nuts are salty. Nuts are nutty. And they really play well with all the dairy notes from the cheese. And the graininess of the cracker, everything just works together. That is great. And just to point out, if it looks like I'm a little sweaty or perspiring here, that's probably because I am. Because my air conditioning is out. It's about 88, 89 degrees F. Here in southern Louisiana on this day. And I still need to do videos. So I'm just going to move on. Get in, get out, get it done. So 4 dried blueberries on a piece of flatbread with some of this Brie-Like cheese from France that I'm not going to say again. So I don't like butchering other people's languages, but here goes blueberries on this cheese and flatbread. Wonderful contrast. Fruitiness pops out. Dairy notes are accentuated by the way of contrast. Texture contrast with the cracker, of course. So everything is just great. Couldn't ask for any more. So it doesn't look like a brie. People are going to go, what the heck? When they see all the gray and funky colors and fuzzy white mold on the outside. But nothing to be too concerned about. Now I'm doing something really weird. Sun-dried tomatoes. Cut into little bits. So they're on the red side, of course. And they're sweet. They're a little acidic. And a little tomatoey. So let's find out how the combination goes. Plenty of contrast against that salt-free sun-dried tomato. It goes well with the dairy notes. It goes well with the mushroomy character. And the saltiness of the cheese, which is not great, is a contrast with that tomato. So, 3 different things that worked wonderfully well. So, because of perspiration, I'm just going to go ahead and move out after reminding you to like the video down below and leave comments and questions and subscribe to the channel and click that bell to get notified when the new videos come out, which is usually on Mondays. But for now, I'm going to get the heck out of here, and didn't really prepare a cheers. There we go. I'm not afraid of the rind anymore. It's just wonderful. It's more cheesy than the rest of it. So please come along and look for more videos on Brie-Like Cheeses in this series. And who knows what afterwards on other food items and tasting things, and just keep checking back all the time. So come back for all those things, and cheers.